Welcome back, episode 9, Lethal Weapons podcast.
Nine.
No, it's episode 9. Episode 9. You should be used to it, that fucking word.
Why?
Because you missed his
Oh,
German.
yeah.
We've got Danny Royles with us.
Hey, oh, cheer, let me do a cheer.
Perfect for mine, because I've always been told I look like a Nazi as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Family live in Germany, my dad lives there, my brother lives there.
Ah.
Been going there since I was like 10 years old.
Wow.
In school.
Oh, there you go.
Because kids were creative, they started calling me Danny the Nazi, which was great.
Danny the Nazi.
Danny the Nazi. Not everyone, but just like some people in school, which was weird if like teachers overheard it. They're like,
It's weird if
oh,
teachers
Danny the
join in,
Nazi.
innit?
Yeah.
It's alright if you're doing grammar. It's not alright.
Yeah.
It's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Shit if you're doing cooking.
Yeah. Cooking, that's yeah. I suppose, yeah. It's very
Yeah.
cooking.
Just putting stuff in the oven
Yeah.
and cooking.
I've only got one dish. Right, I'm gonna start with something.
Well,
'Cause
that'd be great.
Yeah. Just before we get into the proper bit,
Oh.
I got your present.
Oh, did you? Why?
Yeah. Because you was a little bit sad after you did beat the frog.
Okay. I wasn't sad. I wouldn't say I was sad.
Speaking to
More
your
angry.
microphone. Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah. But
More
when you
angry.
was sad / angry
Yeah.
about you beat the frog.
Oh, look, me wiggles are right size.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
that's good.
Yeah.
So I've got you a present.
Go on. Oh, a present.
Yeah. Yeah, got your present.
Oh. So you love Tommy?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What have
Not
you got me,
knickers.
mate? Oh, jumper.
Little
T-shirt.
t-shirt for you.
Let's have a look.
It's a picture of
Oh.
Tommy.
And that's a picture of
Winning
me
beat
Picture-
the frog.
winning beat the frog.
Did you do the same one together then?
No.
No.
I did the week before.
I did
okay.
the hard one.
Um,
Oh, thanks for that, mate.
there you go, mate. Because I just thought that'll cheer you up a little bit.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, that's great, that.
Yeah.
Why, how did your one go?
Anyway, moving on. I think I was 20 seconds off winning
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
20 seconds off.
I know, I was just a victim, really, of a bad decision.
I always say once you get to 4 minutes, it should be an automatic.
That
go
should be
through.
it then, shouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
especially if
agree.
you've done well.
Mid-joke, and he just
You even had
went,
a clap break, didn't you?
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
well. Just,
It was.
but I'm not bitter.
No.
No.
But
Especially
I've got
now.
2 of the 3 pictures now, the people who put the cars up.
Have you? Amazing.
Sometimes they just want to, feel special, make it about
Yeah.
themselves a bit. I've seen it quite a few times.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I beat it the first time I did it.
Yeah.
I've had one that went terrible where I just like, I'm only going to do dark stuff.
Yeah.
I got like 2 minutes 30. There was 2 women holding the card, and I had like a big group of lads on the right that were loving it, but the card holders were just not having it.
Yeah.
The worst one I've had is 4 minutes 58.
What?
Where I absolutely smashed it. I thought I was on to win it.
Oh,
And,
that's well bad.
4:50.
4:58.
2 seconds.
Yeah, so I did a dark joke as my final joke. The rest was like about disability and myself. And then I did a dark joke about a funeral. An American woman at the front put the card up. And this was my best joke. It got a round of applause, but she put it up because she didn't like dark humour. And then the other card holder was a Welsh guy from Wrexham. And I introduced myself as being from Chester, and that's like a rivalry.
Yeah.
So he just put it up at the end and was just like, oh, fuck it, he's from Chester, it's funny. And I was just like, you motherfucker.
No
But
way.
I didn't mind because I just got to drive home instead of waiting around, so
Wow.
it wasn't too bad. I still got my 5 and I'd beat it before, so it's not the end of the world.
Fucking hell, man. 2 seconds off.
But yeah,
That's
2
bad, that,
seconds.
innit? I'll let it feel a little bit better.
Wow. Yeah. So, you got much on this week, gig-wise? You doing anything?
Not too much, just like the general open mics I do. I try and do like at least 3 a week. But
3?
sometimes it will be like 2 at minimum.
Yeah.
And then occasionally I do like 5 or 6 a week if
Yeah.
I manage
How
to
many
book
gigs have
any.
you done then? You say about 150, don't you? So yeah, what's it?
Yeah, I'm about 100 in right now, but I haven't been counting.
Yeah.
But I just know that I'm somewhere between 90 and 100,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
roughly.
Wow, that's good going. That.
Yeah.
That's great going, yeah.
That's really
So
good
I'm
going.
committed
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
it at this point. But
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. You did the dark comedy night, didn't you?
did a dark comedy night in London.
How did that go? Because that's
It's
what-
advertised as a dark comedy night, but it's
Yeah.
actually an open mic
Oh,
in
right,
a pub.
okay. Oh,
So
right,
the
right.
people in there might not know that it's a dark comedy night.
amazing.
But all the comedians turning up know it's a dark comedy night. And luckily, most open mics don't get much of an audience.
Yeah.
There were a few audience in there that were just like having to listen to the horrific things we said. But luckily for me, it was mostly comedians that like sat near the front. So that went really well because that's like my style of humor, is like pushing the boat a bit on dark and, you know, quite sexual and dirty. That's what I like to do in my sets.
That's my kind of. My
like
kind of bag as well.
Like unicorns and flowers for me.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Like the weird and the wonderful and
talking dogs.
Talking dogs. That's his absolute favourite thing. Talking dogs. I'm glad dogs can't talk. I think I'd like to do that. I think I might go down and. Is it something you have to sign up beforehand? Is it?
No, I mean it's just sign up on the night, but I just knew the guy that runs it from TikTok and Instagram. We'd been chatting for a while because we'd seen each other's content and we knew that we both did dark comedy, and he'd been like had his mic cut at certain ones because London's quite woke, and he was saying like, oh, I've done
your mic.
They cut his mic, and he'd done hot water and stuff, and was like, it's a lot better in the Northwest. I can say normal, just dark jokes that aren't that bad, but in London they were like, you can't say those kind of things, you're not allowed
it's
back.
Almost as if people don't realise it's jokes, it's comedy.
I know.
Isn't it? That's what
We've
it's
said
like.
this, haven't we? Like that's a comedian's job, isn't it? Push the line. Try and find.
Depends what you want from it, innit? Do you know what I mean? I suppose. Because I reckon
you want to be thought provoking, don't you? You don't want to be. That's what I like.
What
anyway.
we were saying about is at what point can you start doing that as you being you? Because at the end of the day, you're doing the stuff to get to a certain point, but you want to do your stuff, don't you? I mean, I'm going to see Frankie Boyle on Thursday. Some of his stuff, if I tried to do it on stage, it's not. I would do stuff, but you know, it wouldn't work just because.
No, you can never do it at an open mic. No. You can do it at like say that dark one that I went to, because all the comedians are people that know that it's a dark night and they're all in for that. But if you just turn up to a general open mic and they don't know you.
Tommy had an idea. We had an idea that we were going to do, because we were sorting our own venue out eventually, and we're going to have Star Wars night, so we have light side and the dark side.
All right.
So you know, 4 of each comic to see which wins at the end.
We're going to do like four like more wholesome comics, 4 dark humour comics, and then obviously at the end they get to vote whether light side, dark side wins, sort of thing. I think that'd be a fucking great night.
I might put that up to the vote on the
it's all about the dark side, isn't it?
It's not.
I think in general the light side will probably always win, because if you're funny and light, everyone's always you've got no chance of overstepping the line. Whilst if you're dark, even at the dark comedy nights, some people overstep the line, but you should be given the place to do that, because if you overstep the line, then you're like, okay, even at a dark night, that was too far. So that's the line, because I find it hard to know the line, just because with how I am and my friends in school, that's just the kind of sense of humour we have. And as I said, I like Anthony Jeselnik, who he will, like in one of his Netflix jokes, he does a bit where he talks about doing 4 dead baby jokes in a row. And like that's just how he is, and he's built that audience. And if he just went to a random open mic in the UK and nobody knew who he was, people might be like, oh my god, I can't believe he's saying these horrific things.
Well, again, I don't know, is it because that he delivers it well and he makes it that you know it's like that, or is it, you know, that just I don't know. Could not...
I think he's built up his own following now, hasn't he? So I think once you get to that point where you've built up a following and they know what to expect when they come and watch it, they're going to watch Anthony Jeselnik, just like we're going to watch Frankie Boyle. We're going to watch Frankie Boyle knowing what Frankie Boyle does. It's going to a mixed bill and seeing someone do really, really dark stuff. It's like, oh shit, I'm not into this.
Jerry Sadowitz was like that. I went to watch Jerry Sadowitz. That was at the Frog, and he was a bit like, whoa, a bit shocking, really. Some of the stuff he was doing was a bit on top. But
I think people will think you're being shocking for the sake of shocking. If you go to watch Jimmy, just to do a UK example, if you go to watch Jimmy Carr, you know what you're expecting. It's going to be short, dark, and sexual one-liners. Whilst if you go to an open mic and someone does, it could be the exact same jokes. Like let's just say someone stole Jimmy Carr's set, but the audience didn't know it was Jimmy Carr's jokes. It would probably get a bad reaction, and people will just be like, "Oh, he's trying to be like,
being shocking for the sake
shocking
of
for the sake of shocking."
It's weird, isn't it, though? Because I wonder if, like you said, if Jimmy Carr could wear a mask and go and do his set with all these little nuances and things he does, would it be funny? Like you say,
I'm sure he has techniques to build it up maybe a little bit better than like someone like myself who's way less experienced than Jimmy Carr. But just from going to open mics, I've seen loads of people try dark jokes that haven't even been that dark, and it's already got groans just at the topic.
So yeah, there was a guy who did, I'll not say his name, who did your Beat the Frog, and he came on and he got about a minute out of his set, didn't he? But he was doing really dark stuff about, remember he was on about going to Mothercare.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to pick up a coat hanger to get, do you know what I mean? So he didn't have to buy any of the stuff sort of thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't not funny, was it?
No, it was like, I like that type of humour.
It was a funny night though, that night, I think.
It was a tough
I
night.
hate it when those acts get gonged off quick, because for me, they're one of the only people that are willing to push it, and I'm like, I really want to hear what they've got to say, because I just went to watch the one on Monday because my friend was doing it. He got through the 5, but there was a guy that went on and he had a ridiculous bit about dead babies, and he even said like, oh, are there any dead babies in here? And people started laughing because obviously there's not, but that already got a card. And then other people, and then he just started his next sentence. He didn't even get a minute, he got like 45 seconds, and I was like, let him get to where he's going to.
100%.
He's just making jokes about a dark topic. It's not the end of the world.
No, I agree. I completely agree. So, because when my first set that I wrote out, so we got into comedy by, well, you'd done it before, but obviously we met we did a comedy course at the Frog and Bucket.
Oh yeah.
And then you do a showcase at the end. So you write your set out and then you go through it like 6 or 7 times, don't you? And I felt a little bit selloutish because the guy who runs it was like, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. So I cut it and I made it. But in my head, I'm like, do I cut it or do I stick to what I want to write and what I want to say? But then you think if you actually want to get anywhere to start off with, you need to be a little bit more broad, don't you?
Yeah, you have to. Especially like I've done some gigs now where I've travelled like 3 hours. So I travelled 3 hours to Bradford recently for a 10-minute spot. There's like 15 people in the crowd in a small pub. And the youngest person in there is over the age of 50.
Yeah.
And I'm just straight away thinking like, oh, are they going to like any of the filth? But luckily I have maybe like an hour or so worth of material that I've tried in the past, and a lot of it is safer than other stuff, where I was like, okay, at least the first 5 minutes I'll do safe and then slowly build up. Because there was a chance I could have travelled 3 hours, just offended 15 people, potentially like angered them, ruined the night for everyone, ruin my reputation at least with the person that booked that gig, and then have to drive 3 hours back with my own thoughts. So I was just like,
it's a long
I might as well play it safe. And the night went really well, and as I got to 5 minutes I asked them like, are you okay with like darker humour, dark and sexual humour? And they said they were. So I tried one that was a little bit pushing it. They loved it, and then I went a step further and they liked that one as well, and then the night went really well. But I didn't expect that, because I judged them beforehand. I was like, oh, people over the age of 50 won't like this stuff. And they did.
I think it's the opposite, mate. I think it's the older people who get away with.
Yeah, maybe the younger people don't like it.
The younger people seem to be more not offended, but
they're a lot more woke, aren't
they? I think that was the difference between our two Frogs things. That the audience was dead young, like students, when I did it, where it was more of a mix, older people and stuff. And I think you tend to think, well, I'm old, me, but you tend to think of older people. Like I remember we used to do a gig in a social club that we used to do, and there was 3 women that used to come, and they must have all been in 60s, 70s, you know, old Brew Rinse Brigade, and you'd look at them, you come out, and the comedians would come out and they'd go, I can't. But they were dead rum, and you could say anything to them and they got it, and they were dead shouting stuff out, and but you know, interacting dead nice and everything. So I think it was an interesting one, because we were talking about, I think we were talking about this the other day, and we were saying that nowadays, when I used to come, let's say it's 20 odd years ago, it was come out, do your jokes, go back in. You know, you could get away with a bit more then, regarding you didn't have to be sensitive, or not sensitive, but I don't know, everyone says woke, but I think that's the wrong word, but you didn't have to really be bothered about offending people, because you didn't. I don't know why. Now you do. But we were saying, or we were talking and saying that now the audience want to be part of the act, so that's like, you know, Paul Smith and people like that, where they'll talk to people. People are sort of enjoying that comedy more than your standard. It's almost old-fashioned going up and telling jokes now. They want that interaction. They want to be the star of it. So that's something that we know.
Well, the biggest reactions I got at the Frog was the 2 bits where I spoke to the crowd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that literally came because I fucking completely forgot my words. I completely forgot where I was up to in my set.
Yeah.
And then luckily a young girl shouted something, so I just picked off that. And then there was a young couple in the front who had been picked on throughout by the MC Rob Mulholland.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, I'll go into that as well. And then I found me way in my brain again. Then I was like, all right, okay, I can carry on with my set now.
Yeah, because those real interactions, whilst I think, as you said, like, it can seem a bit old-fashioned now if you just go up there, tell your joke, especially if you do get heckled and they get ignored and you just stick to your set. It seems like, this is me, here are my jokes,
These
like it, lump it. But if you
Yeah.
chat to people, you're just having a conversation, it's like, this is me, even though really there are techniques and you're trying to put in jokes here and there. It seems just a lot more fluid now when people can master it. Like,
there's not many people do it though, is it? You think there'd be more people doing it or is it a newer thing?
I think it just takes so long because I only started chatting to the audience more when I got to about my 70th gig. So the first 70 I was just like, I'll deliver it, and I did get heckled a few times and I just ignored it or just gave like one word responses to like put them down, which would get laughs and stuff. But now I'm willing to just chat and engage and go completely off my set, away from topics.
I suppose that comes with knowing your set though. If you've done your
set,
you
can always
you
go
can
back
jump
to it.
back on it. Whereas with me, my new stuff, I was shouting out to him, what's next? And he'll shout out to me and I'll carry on. Because, like I say, my memory's gone dead bad. But
yeah, it can be boring sometimes. Like, you can have a conversation and they say something and they don't give you anything that's even anything to go into. They just are drunk, shout something random, and you can just be like, oh, you fucking drunken idiot.
But
like,
I don't mind that because it breaks the monotony as well, because I've got ADHD, so doing this same set, this same 5-10 minutes that I've got written every gig for 12 months, and you're seeing the same comics at the same gig for 12 months, and they've seen your set. I don't know, so I'm fucking bored of it. Do you know what I mean? So if there's any audience interaction, I'm happy with that because it gives me something else to say. Do you know what I mean? But I was gonna do at that the gig I met you at the night you were doing your practice for your dark comedy thing. I was gonna, because I said to you before I went dinner, there you go, mate, that looks fucking stunning. Look at that, beautiful, that, mate.
Winner's t-shirt.
That is a winner's tee. I was gonna do some darker stuff that night.
They weren't up for it.
And then when I seen the crowd and there was all girls of like 20, 21, 22, I was like, fuck that. Fuck that.
I'd done that night 3 times prior, so I already knew the score.
It's a lovely little gig, isn't it?
And I'd done like a variety of different stuff. I did kind of like a mix that went okay, but every time I went into a dark one, they pulled back. I did a very light set that was based on my different disabilities that I have, and that was like the biggest reaction I got so far, but that was just like pandering to them, and that was probably my least favourite to do. And then the one that you watched, where I had a dark humour night coming up, and I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to practice it to them just to read it out so I can remember it, get the cadence of how I want to say it. And I had to sort of like win them over by saying the joke, and then when it got the ooze, I had to then engage with their reaction, basically being like, oh, that didn't go very well, that's a 3, and like give them all low scores, and that was like sort of winning them back a little bit.
I loved that set.
But
it was fucking really well written. I was like,
but they didn't like it at all, so it's hard, because I didn't really care that much going up there, because I was already at the stage where in the past I would have been like, oh shit, and maybe I would have cut that stuff and just gone back to the disability or stuff that I knew that they would like. But I was like, you know what, I'm just going to commit to 10 minutes of dark. They won't like it.
Like, you knew they were well written. Like, you couldn't tell them jokes and not realise that there was really well written jokes. And
I knew that I didn't have any jokes that were shocking just for the sake of being shocking. They were thought out jokes that I knew the majority of most open mics won't like it, but I wrote them specifically for that dark humour night. Some I'd had in the past that I just never done, because my first 10-20 gigs, anytime I tried darker humour, occasionally people had like pulled back, so I just had them kind of like in my notes on my phone, but I never really tried them, because I just know that they would fail, because they don't know who I am. And when you go up there and you've only got 5 minutes and you do all dark stuff, because it was actually Rob Mulholland who gave me a bit of advice, because I did a talent show which was only 1 minute, and he was guest on the talent show. It was Mild High podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And I've done that loads of times, but it was the first time I did it, and it was only my 10th gig. And I was like, I've only got a minute. I need to impress them. And I knew Rob is a bit more of a dark humour comedian. So I just did my darkest stuff for 1 minute, and the crowd pulled back completely. But again, in my opinion, I was a bit earlier days then. Maybe it was a bit more shock than well written. And he gave me advice afterwards. He was like, you need to probably get to a point where you can do 20-minute sets, and then you're going to have to do it like your final 5 minutes, because people don't know you and they don't trust you.
We went to see him at Thingy, didn't we?
We were watching Dead Men Touring at the Frog and Bucket.
And Rob Mullen was good, but he wasn't particularly dark in his humour. I would say very not dark, really, wasn't he?
He was fucking phenomenal.
Freddie,
he was really good.
Freddie's darker, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. No, he was really good. How do you go on about remembering your set? Do you have because you write stuff, do you still go blank, or do you have a way of... just repetition? Do you practice in front of the mirror and stuff? Or?
I've never practiced in front of the mirror.
No.
The first set I ever did, I rehearsed it word for word. But nowadays it's like, because I'm different. I know a lot of people just get their 5 minutes or 10 minutes and they just repeat it and they practice that on stage. Whilst I'm more like, I get a set of 5 because that's the general for open mics. And then once it's gone well about 4 or 5 times, I throw it away, which isn't really recommended for new comedians. But as you said, you get bored of hearing everyone else's 100%. Set. And if you go into those open mics, if I just repeat my set, I know it's not going to get laughs and feedback because they've all heard it. So I just think, why would I beat a dead horse telling the same comedians, because there's no audience, the same jokes? So I just started writing new ones, and I found that each time I can get laughs then, and then I just keep the keepers.
I tend to do that. My set's never the same, ever. Makes it because I fucking can't remember it. But no, it's not. But I find if you say the same joke different ways, you get different reactions, and you go, oh, that was better than that time, so I'll use it that way. And that's the sort of way I do it. But it's... I do have the same. I have my strongest set that I know. So I have a strong what I would consider my 10. But if I go to hot water or something that I do every fortnight basically, because that's when the open mic is and you're guaranteed audience. I always will try new stuff there. But then that Bradford gig when I drove 3 hours and I went, I didn't try any new stuff there. It was just stuff that I knew.
Stuff that's banked, aren't you? You know this is going to work.
So I have my bankers. Okay, the Dark Knight, that was new stuff that I was risking, but I also did other gigs in London, and every time I did the other gigs whilst I was down there, I just did my banked 5 or 10 because I was like, this is my stuff that's got the best reaction. Your
bread and butter stuff. Love it.
I'd rather do the darker stuff though, but
that's the type of stuff I like listening to. That's the type of comedy I like going watching. It's definitely the type of comedy I want to do.
Emulate. Is that the word?
I think the same as you. I've planned it where it's maybe if at some point I become well known or people are expecting that's the type of humour I do. I've started thinking about maybe starting my own dark humour night. I am starting a night soon, which is going to be a disability night that I'm running with another comedian, but he also is very dark with his jokes. So we're going to...
I was going to say disabled then.
He is disabled. He is very disabled. He's in a wheelchair, so he's very disabled. Cool. But he likes to joke around about being in his chair, and a lot of times, because we've done a lot of open mics together, and I will roast him about his legs not working, and he'll roast me about having terrible eye contact, looking like a Nazi, whatever. And sometimes, the crowd, even if they're other comedians, will pull back. But we treat each other with respect because we're friends, roasting each other.
Well, that's how everyone should treat everybody.
Exactly. I was like, don't be ableist by not laughing at him.
Exactly.
I was like, I'm giving him what he wants by saying he's got jelly legs or whatever I say about him. Which is
because people in wheelchairs, people with disabilities, they still want to be treated the same as everybody else. They still want to take the piss out of people. They still want people to take the piss out of them.
I did want to...
As long as you're not just doing it to a fucking random in the street, just go and taking the piss out of somebody.
I did a gig at his first bar.
In Manchester.
And there's a lad on, and he was really, really, I don't know what the correct, but
little person,
tiny, really little person. But part of his act was that no one talks to him, everyone looks away because they've sort of been conditioned not to stare at him. So and he says, I get dead lonely, no one talks to me, and it was like, oh. it was alright, it was pretty good, but it was an interesting...
I bet he fucking hates that more than anything. Mate.
But he always wants to be roasted, like...
But yeah, it was like an interesting sort of take on it, that, you know, people won't look at me or won't interact with me because they think, oh, it's rude to stare or whatever. Yeah. So it's sort of a... I thought it was a different take.
I think you can just... As long as you've got that relationship with somebody, you can just fucking take the piss out of everybody for everything. Because that's what you want, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't think it works on stage, does it? As soon as you say...
you couldn't go on stage, see someone in the crowd,
that's different.
Well,
you couldn't do that.
Yeah, no.
That's why with our night, we're going to host it together, and the night itself is called Crippled with Laughter. And even from the name, people know what they're in for. And part of our hosting is like, we're going to roast each other, just so people know this is the score. The majority of acts are going to be disabled as well, but they can talk about whatever. But the fact is, we're going to say that we are comfortable roasting each other and our disabilities, and we don't want people pulling back. We're trying to progress whatever, the conversation around disability by saying you can joke around about it. It's okay to laugh. You don't have to, just because he's in a wheelchair, tread carefully, even though he can't tread himself. But that's just how it is. Like, we want to joke around about that topic.
It's like anything, isn't it? If it's consensual, then it's fine. As long as you're not ripping the piss out of people.
Absolutely.
For the sake of it. I get that. That's
you
cool.
can tell when something's bullying and when something's banter, and we always make sure we're banter because we're friends. You wouldn't like me if I was just roasting him all the time, and we wouldn't run a night together. The fact that we're running a night together, they should know that it's banter.
Where's that going to be? Have you got a venue and stuff for that? Or is it still not to be announced?
We're talking to a place in the Northern Quarter in Manchester. Cool. It's only going to be a once a month because it's going to be a night that we're going to run for different, so each month it's going to be set up for a different charity, so it might be something for his disability, something for my disability, maybe another act that's on that night towards their disability, and it's going to be a majority disability acts, but it doesn't have to be. That's just how we're starting it. Eventually it might just be anyone can perform.
I'm fat. That's kind of disabled. You know what I mean? We're fucking right on there, aren't we?
No, we're ableist when it comes to that. That's too disabled for us.
Too disabled.
I need to be fat and ginger. Oh my god.
You're way too fat. Stage will hold you. That was a good comedy roundup, that, wasn't it? I liked it.
We finished it now.
Yeah,
I was enjoying that.
Yeah. Well, we've only got a finite amount of time, Joseph, haven't we? We've got,
all right then.
How long are your episodes?
Usually just, like an hour and 20, something
just
like that.
Whenever we, just whenever. We've got a clock there now. But
we never look at it before. We got it specifically for see how long we've done, and we've never once fucking looked at it, have we? But I think I just think Danny will like the next topic, because obviously there's a big one in the news this weekend with our mate Rolf. Rolf Harris, dead.
Was he in prison when he died, or was he out?
No, he's in prison, mate.
No, he's been out for a while.
No, he's not.
Living in near Reading.
Shut up.
Yeah. He wasn't in for that long, I don't think. He was only in for a few years.
Yeah, have you figured out what it is yet?
It's me dick.
You do Australian then?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm dead good at accents.
Yeah. As long as it's St. Helens.
No, just any accent.
Have you seen that video? I only saw it yesterday because, like, obviously with it being in the news, there's a video of him doing like an anti-touching children video.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane that he made that.
I remember genuinely, when all the stuff was coming out about the BBC presenters and stuff, my mate turns to me and says, I hope Rolf isn't, because I really liked Rolf Harris growing up. And then he'd come out and he was like...
He liked you when you was growing up.
No, I was ginger, mate. No one touches me. But that was, it's fucking sick, innit? But...
It just...
Mad, Mad.
He was more of a shock than, say, Jimmy Savile, where it was like, well, obviously, how did anyone... I didn't grow up during that era, but I was like, how did nobody know?
Yeah.
If, like...
The thing with Jimmy Savile, I mean, he's... I've got to be careful here, because I don't know what the score is, but a guy that used to work with him driving, used to live down the road here, and everyone around here knew that there was something going on, but yet nothing was done about it. It was weird.
It's covered up, wasn't it?
Yeah, I went to see what's it? I forgot, John Lydon from Sex Pistols, Johnny Rotten, and he did but it weren't. It was a talking thing, like, and he said and he exposed him. I don't know if you remember No, that was Savile one. He exposed Jimmy Savile on BBC,
right.
and he never worked for the BBC ever again. And he basically, that was part of it, saying, I fucking told you and all that. And it was like, whoa. But they literally just fucked him off and wouldn't let him.
Yeah, there's that interview where he goes, you all know about those seedy men behind, and he's doing like his weird voice. And
Jimmy Savile was
talking about Jimmy Savile.
No. Oh, he was saying about
John Lydon was talking about Jimmy Savile.
And he called them all out, or called him out, and then he basically never worked for the BBC again.
Fucking dirty.
And he ended up doing butter advertising.
So, but he was best mates with like Prince Charles, wasn't he? Or they were close. He was close to Prince Charles.
Man, I was going to buy one of his paintings once.
And then
he was advising him. He was advising Prince Charles.
And then Rolf Harris did a painting for the Queen. Then you've got fucking Prince Andrew.
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, but that's speculation at this point. Can't we just say that's
why is that speculation?
Because you don't know what's going on, and I don't want to get shot in a tunnel.
The Royals can...
You don't want to get Princess Diana.
No.
The Royals can... They're all in that as well. Not my family. Cause
I was just going to say, not your
family. My
surname
is Royals, but
You're not German anyway, aren't you? So.
No. I look it, but... That's actually like one of my jokes. It is like, oh, my name's Danny Royles of the non-paedophile Royals.
I love it.
I want the distinction away from them.
Part of those fucking.
But I do think if I do ever get fans, they should be called Royalists, just so I can
like,
you're a Royalist.
I like that,
That's really good. We've got weapons.
Nice.
No lethals.
No weapons.
Is it weapons?
You can't say lethals, can you?
I think I wouldn't want to be called a weapon.
That's the point, isn't it?
That's
the whole point.
Yeah, but I thought, okay.
Yeah.
Imagine doing a
like and subscribe to become a weapon.
Do subscribe though. Yeah, we do need that.
I'll be like bow down if you're a royalist.
Yeah, bow down if you're a royalist. That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what they ask them to do, don't they? The royals bow down, suck this.
There's a whole thing with
Would you curtsy or?
Would I fuck? I could not be subservient to any sort of monarchy.
A little bit of respect for the.
I wouldn't want an MBE.
Why the fuck would I have any kind of respect
I'd have
for
an
them?
MBE if we could get one.
I'm surprised you can spell it.
But
he was trying to say BMW.
Yeah, what's an OBE then? What's that? Honorary member, member of the British Empire.
That's Order of the British
Order of the British. OBE is better, I think.
There's MBE, OBE, and CBE, I think.
Yeah.
I think Rolf Harris had all three of them, and so did Jimmy Savile, and then he was knighted.
Because I don't think you can have
Sir Jimmy Savile.
You can't have one if you're not English, can you?
Sir, you can't.
But if you're a paedophile,
so you can have the. That's why Rolf Harris was never Sir Rolf Harris, but
Srolf. Yeah.
Anyway, he's a crank and he's dead, so that's good.
Yeah, yes.
Then as soon as they find out stuff, they're like, "Oh no, we didn't have anything. We didn't know about that." And it's like, sure.
Okay.
And then the whole Prince Andrew thing as well. It's like, it's mental.
Yeah, I don't sweat.
But then there's people.
The worst fucking excuse ever. I don't sweat. You've literally been accused of nonsense.
I know.
And you're going, I don't
You should
sweat.
be sweating a little bit. Even if it was like a false accusation, you'd be like, oh, are they really saying that about you? You'd be a little bit sweaty.
Yeah. But you're allowed to be sweaty right now, mate.
But if you meet someone who's like a real
But in his defence, it wasn't.
How are we even saying them words?
No. By the letter of the law, in America it is, but in England it's not, is it?
What?
He was on an island,
wasn't he? Because she was 17 once, she'd a girl.
No.
I thought she was 17, and then it's 18 in America. I'm not sticking up for anything.
I think she was 16, wasn't she?
But no.
It's because they flew them to an island and stuff, though.
I think if it was in the palace, then it'd have been right. But honestly, I think if you... But I don't know. Not that I do look up the rules of paedophilia, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're well up to that. Can I go to this?
How would you handle this one?
There was a gig I did in Widnes recently, and another comedian was on stage, and he was joking about Prince Andrew. And no joke, one of the guys from the crowd just went, yeah, but we've all done a bit of that. And it was a guy probably like in his 60s or something. This was the day, so this gig was running on the day of King Charles' coronation, so it was that Saturday. The day before I went down to London, I did that gig in Widnes, and one of the... he was smashed because they'd been drinking watching the coronation all day. And like from the joke, he just went, yeah, we've all done a bit of that though. And it was like, why are you just outing yourself as a nonce in the crowd? And the rest of the crowd didn't even care though, because they were like all mates. And we only had about 10 people in the crowd.
That was like noncy joke.
Yeah.
As a competitor on stage, that was gold though. If he says that, innit? You have a laugh.
I think the comedian was so shocked, he just went, "What did you just fucking say?" And that was it. And the rest of them just kind of like nodded along, just like, "Yeah, that's what happened." Like, you know, for like 70s and 80s. Yeah, but it's like, well, Prince Andrew didn't do it back then.
Fucking hell. Terrific though, innit? Yeah.
Right.
Paedophilia.
What have we got? Questions. We're doing questions.
Yeah. What about Philly Sco?
Oh, Philly Schofield.
Have you got time for that?
I don't know what's happened there yet.
All right. I think he links in with the previous conversation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
At least with his brother, and he was very close to his brother. Yeah. As soon as those allegations come out, he was like, "I disown my brother." It's like, you were practically best mates before.
It's his brother though, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's only disowned it for the thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you still be like mates with your brother if you found that out with him?
I haven't got a brother.
Hypothetically.
You can't say, can you? Who knows? You forgive family loads of stuff, don't you? Whether you forgive them that.
I don't think I could forgive that.
Is it an illness? Is it? I don't know, mate. I don't know enough about it. I've not been in that situation. I think it depends. It depends, doesn't it?
I think there's people who like have sons, and you see like they do horrific like say Jeffrey Dahmer, all the shit that he did, and his family kind of still just like tried to support him through it as much as they can. There's certain things that...
You haven't got kids, so but it's different what you like.
Only in my boot.
Yeah. But it's when you have kids, it sort of changes, and you would protect them to a point, I think.
But Philip Schofield's one, he was very close with his brother, and then obviously there was the rumours about him grooming that runner on the show.
I mean,
and then it comes out, and he was all of a sudden like... Nope, I've got nothing to do. It just seemed like he was trying to distance himself from the conversation.
Gordon the Gopher will come out next. And
he was fisted for fucking years when Gordon the Gopher. Bless him. No wonder he was squeaky.
I don't know.
I'd be squeaky.
Right, I'm looking up questions here now.
Do you want me to get them? Because I've got them ready on my phone.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got them now.
You sure?
Yeah, you do them this week.
Are these questions for me or just out in
general? We'll just all discuss it. So they're just a load of stuff that Joel pops into...
it's just daft questions,
AI.
basically. And some of them, if you don't want to answer one, I don't answer that. If you do, we usually do.
Try and answer everything.
5 or 6. It's just.
Yeah, we'll do a few. So these are stuff that AI has generated. As what did you put into AI for this one?
Tell me some answer and questions.
Is that anal interrogation?
Yeah.
Is that
amazing?
Yeah.
If you could haunt someone after death, who would it be?
Haunt someone after death?
Yeah.
So when you're dead?
Yeah.
So you have to haunt someone?
Yeah. So who would you haunt?
Was it like a poltergeist or is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. No, pick another one. I don't know.
Not like that one.
Do you like it? Go on, you have it. Who do you want?
Nigella Lawson.
Oh yeah, I do. I wouldn't haunt her. Just sit and watch.
Exactly. I'd only haunt the U-bend of a toilet.
I don't think I would like pick a celebrity. I think I would just haunt like one of my closest mates because I think it would be hilarious.
What's his name? Elton Musk would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Elton Musk. just all the way in Mars, or like
just there flicking there.
Yeah. Just keep calling him a cunt. Yeah. I think a mate would be really.
You'll definitely want to leave the planet then. Like, get me away from this.
Yeah. You'd be with him, wouldn't you?
Yeah. No. And every time he presses his button to launch his rocket, you just click it off. Yeah. You just click it off. Right. Wait a minute, I did have one. If you could create a bizarre and twisted reality TV show, what would be the premise?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I already created a bit on this because it was on my Hate for Love Island, and it was a combination of Love Island and Squid Game, where only one couple survives.
I love it.
But like I think I might have done it on that Dark Humor night where it was like, I used to date this girl that really watched Love Island, but I thought it'd be more interesting if they combined Love Island with Squid Game. But the narcissists that go on that show would still apply to it and think they could win. But then the punchline was like, but I guess we wouldn't need the Squid Game aspect because they seem to be taking care of themselves because of the suicides in Love Island. And that was the dark joke. But I do think that would be like...
That'd be a fun show.
A real life Squid Game in general.
Yeah.
would be the most watched thing ever. If there was real deaths involved and people would sign up,
it
and the winner...
Noel's house party. The guy died in the car, didn't he?
Really?
Did he?
Yeah, he doing a stunt where he had to drop this car or something and it killed him, yeah.
How big do you think the prize would have to be, though, for a real-life Squid Game? I think if you put 10 mil on the line, people have got a chance to change their life.
100%.
There'll be people who are, like, maybe at the bottom of the barrel really struggling that would just be like, maybe they want out anyway.
Yeah. That wouldn't change your life though, mate, would it? That's the thing.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's
like that,
well my
basically.
Do you know what I'd have? Premiership football, but like with mines and booby traps and stuff on the pitch.
Right, it.
And like Lions half time, release the line VAR. Oh no, fuck it, send the line out.
There'll be no players left at the end, just a ball in the middle of the pitch.
I always remember when I was a kid, right? There used to be a thing about going on train lines, right?
Yeah.
And there was this video, and it still scars me to this day. And these lads were like in school, and they were running through this tunnel, and basically the train hit them and squashed them all, and that's what it was about. But it still gets me now, this sort of thing with trains squashing you. So I'd have a train going across as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be top, wouldn't it? Pay like 10 million for a player and one of his legs gets blown off in the mine.
Yeah.
You could just have them by the corner fly, couldn't you? And
you'll never get them to agree because they're already getting paid millions, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think the Squid Game one, you would get, like in Squid Game, people who are like in so much debt that are desperate and they just want to get out.
Well, maybe not Premiership, but you play football even. It'd be like tramp boxing, wouldn't it? But like,
if you survive, you get a Premier League contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
You just do it to random Sunday league players and just be like, you'll win a Prem contract.
And then you could have like holes with spikes in.
Yeah.
You know, but then you put like a thin layer of grass on top so they
fall down. Amazing.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'd go for Celebrity Nonce Island.
That's just Epstein's Island.
Yeah.
Just recreate Epstein's Island.
You put them all on there, all the nonces from telly, and then they've got sort of like the Hunger Games, and they can win the freedom.
But would you want to give a nonces freedom?
No, but that's the thing. They don't get it. Don't get it.
How confirmed nonce do they have to be? Like, is Schofield allowed to go or not?
Schofield's going.
He can still go.
He's going on the island.
All right.
Do you think?
Yeah. It's my show. It's my show.
So he's not being convicted or anything. He's going.
No. I'm literally just knocking on fucking doors, bag over the head.
Yeah,
welcome,
okay.
and I'd have Anton Deck doing it.
Yeah,
you've got to,
you'd
have to. Yeah, you'd have to get Anton Deck.
Yeah, I'd have them on mine driving.
Yeah,
down.
Stephen Mulhern doing like the the
more,
after show.
More Nonce Island or whatever.
More Nonce Island. Yeah, and just have them all on there.
Yeah,
with like real prisoners. You know the ones who hate nonces.
Oh,
yeah. And they've got a.
What does it mean? Not something about courtyard. Not on some normal courtyard exercise or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a prison term, isn't it?
So they didn't get to mix with other prisoners.
Oh, okay.
What is the most inappropriate song to play at a wedding ceremony?
Oh, have you seen that one on TikTok?
It's my favourite. It's one of my favourite ever videos.
I don't think I know this.
Have you not seen it?
Unless it's I've seen like the wheelchair Ed Sheeran legs don't work like they used to before. I find that's hilarious.
That's one of my favourite.
I've been trying to recreate that with my mate in the wheelchair, just because I was like, we can spam that one.
Incredible. I think we can move on from that one. So I don't think that's going to be deep.
That one's for a wedding though, just a general wedding.
Yeah. What's the most inappropriate wedding song?
Don't know.
There's a song that I know that's called "Love Is Bullshit," but it's not a very popular song. But that would be a bit shit for a wedding.
There's a country western song called "How Will I Know That You Love Me If You Don't Go Away."
Right.
How will I miss you if you won't go away? That'd be a good wedding.
What about like just WAP, one of those kind of songs as well? Surely
I hate that I know the words to that fucking song.
Yeah.
WAP.
I don't know.
Wet Ass Pussy.
Mm.
Oh no, I don't think
one of my favourite things was
Nicki Minaj.
Did you see the Facebook thread where they told a priest that WAP meant wishes and prayers? So he was posting on the church's social media.
Today's WAP.
Yeah, so get yourselves down for some WAP this Sunday.
That's awesome.
I genuinely had to do a WAP at work, and I don't mean like I'm a porn star.
Yeah.
It's called a work assessment passport.
Fucking amazing.
And it's just called WAP, and it was for my disability to just fill out what my issues are and what they can help me with. No. And it's called a WAP. And I took a photo and put it on Instagram straight away. I was like filling out my WAP today, just
fucking
I
incredible.
couldn't believe it.
There's a metal band called Wasp,
Wasp.
And that used to stand for We Are Sexual Perverts.
Oh,
wow.
why not Predators?
Cool.
I thought he was going to go Predators.
Yeah.
You'd definitely go Predators.
It makes them sound too bad if they use Predators, I think.
Yeah. It didn't used to, does it? It still makes me laugh when you have that all around football Predators going out. You went to that thingy and you have them there, don't you? Kids Predators, and you're like, oh, I can't look.
Adidas Predators.
Yeah.
Okay, what would be the most inappropriate and absurd mascot for a children's cereal?
Cereal as in food cereal? Or a teleprogram cereal?
That's a series.
Alright.
Yeah, cereal that they eat. You know, like they'd have like the Cocoa Pops monkey or the Honey Monster. What would be the worst?
The Honey Monster was a weird one already, but
it really was.
I think of a better one.
Tell them about the Honey Monster.
What? You look a bit like the Honey Monster, don't you?
Like
yeah.
My sister used to have a mate, and that's what we used to call her.
Honey Monster. Why?
Just because he looked like her.
Was she big?
Yeah.
What was her name?
She was lovely.
Say it.
You know.
Say it.
No.
She'll know, won't she?
Tommy, she was called.
Get fucked. Most inappropriate
for children.
For a children's cereal.
It's got to be.
You're always going to go back to Jimmy Savile, aren't you?
Pizza bites and have Thingy Andrew on it, Prince Andrew, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Because didn't he go to?
He went to Pizza Express.
Yeah. So.
And didn't sweat.
So it's a cereal in the morning. I don't know what that'd be.
Yeah, what's the most inappropriate?
Maddie McCann would be a good one.
Maddie McCann would be a great one. Yeah, you've got to find the little Madeline toy inside the cereal, but it's never there.
No.
So they can make the cereal little Maddie faces,
and
eating them. It can be called Maddie McCannibals.
Yeah, that's
phenomenal.
So you're just eating little Maddies for cereal. I mean, that's pretty inappropriate.
That's really good.
With their mascot Michael Jackson or Jimmy Savile,
Yeah. Madeline McCannibals. I don't think we're going to top that.
No, Madeline McCannibals is.
No.
I think
sounds like a 70s band, that though.
The McCannibals. It does, doesn't it?
McCannibals.
Do one more. If you're a witch or wizard, what spell would you specialise in casting, so you can create your own spell, basically?
I'd just like to be able to spell.
That'd be your spell.
Yeah, just something so I can spell words.
I feel like I'm one of the only people around nowadays who doesn't have dyslexia. Like, I'm really good at spelling.
I don't. I'm really good at spelling as well.
I'm really bad at
shit with numbers.
I'm good with numbers as well.
Yeah.
This isn't creating like what the actual spell's called. This is like what the spell does.
Yeah, but you can name it as well if you want.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fetus deletus.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fetus deletus. It's going to be the best one, isn't it?
It depends what situation.
You never have to pull out again.
No.
Erectus impetus. Now just any guy that I don't like, no more bonus for you.
No more bonus.
No more bonus.
But you could also have the reverse for you so you could just get one as and when you want them.
You kind of like that anyway. I always get unwanted ones now.
Just always. How old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh shit!
I just look
young. Coming for you.
Yeah, it won't be long.
Coming for you.
Nah, I just need to keep staying in shape. I'll be there.
Yeah. So if you could cast a spell, and it could be on for anything, I'd probably go for World Peace.
You have to cast it on the whole world.
And just save the world,
Just save the world. Yeah. Joel's a nonce.
I don't know anything, that'd be nice.
Just like racism no more, and paedophilia no more.
No more, just
everything's just lovely.
Yeah.
No.
What about all the people who work at prisons? They'll be out of a job.
What the fuck? What would we talk about on stage? What would we fucking talk about?
Imagine if
nice stuff like unicorns and I had this unicorn with a curly on.
That's the annoying thing. You need paedophiles to exist if you're a comedian because they're one of the best things to joke about. They didn't exist. It's like that's half my material just gone.
You like as soon as that thing come out about Prince Andrew, every comedian in the UK went fucking jacked.
Epstein Island as well, the whole thing.
Everyone fucking loved it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because it's just gold material. It's just solid gold, isn't it?
Well, everyone would just become like Michael McIntyre type comedian, just doing like their general day-to-day type jokes. So.
Well, it's like what we were saying earlier, though. It is almost like dead generic now. That the people that are doing well are just dead generic.
Yeah, it's a lot of mundane comedy that is getting pushed and more likely to get booked for gigs because if you do a risky one, like even the stuff that I send to promoters, my safest set towards the end is still pretty risky, and I send it, and I know sometimes they're probably like, no, I don't want this. Yeah, they're like, the first half was good, but then it went a bit too dark and sexual for me.
It's like, it's like, say, if you want to work on the telly, I mean, there used to be a gig, I don't know if it's still going, was it called the Deaf Institute or something like that? And you couldn't swear, but having to do a gig without being able to swear I know you don't need to swear, but sometimes you use it to punctuate stuff, don't you?
It provides emphasis. It can improve a joke.
Yeah, because penis isn't as funny as dick.
No, I remember
there's
a famous...
If I did my set and said penis instead of dick,
it's not...
it wouldn't be as funny.
I think it would.
No.
My mate,
we'll find out next. I'll do it for you.
My lad made a rocket for school, his project, and it was Pen 15. I was well proud of it.
I can't remember which comedian it was. It's a black American comedian, and he talks about like being able to use the N-word. He's like, oh, it's a cheat code, because he was like, I throw it into my jokes and it improves it massively, and he's like, and I'm used to using it, just spamming it randomly, but everyone fucking loves it, so it's like it helps.
It is weird.
I've tried it, and if I'm honest, I've had mixed reviews.
Can go that way.
How would you like though if you are they censoring you though by saying you can't do it?
Say the N-word.
No, not the N-word.
I got told backstage before a gong show.
Yeah.
This was the warning to me: don't do dark stuff. If you do, we'll put you on later. And I asked to go on later. And then he also said, try not to swear because that's lazy comedy. And I was in the back, because I was there with a mate, and I was like, I am fucked.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about my set, and it got way into my head what he said beforehand, because he was like, the crowd as well will not like you being dark, and they won't like you swearing. And I wasn't that long into comedy, and I was like, all my stuff is dark and sexual. And I went out there, tried to cut jokes, lost where I was going, because I changed my whole set thinking, what can I put in that's safer? And then I was like and ahhing on stage, and like I managed to just about get through the 5 minutes, but it wasn't a very good like gong performance. And I went off just like, that was horrific, trying to censor myself live on stage, only like 20 gigs in.
You'd have got to get fucked off me, to be fair.
Like, and the crowd weren't that bad. I did one of my dark jokes, which I have a joke just like about my nan dying, which is a pretty dark, joke. And it got a really good reaction. I was like, what's he going on about? But you can't tell until you try it. But
on that thing, comedy course, like I said, he censored you a lot, and some of my stuff as well he wouldn't let me do, wouldn't he? But I didn't think it was even that bad, what I was saying. I had something about...
You should always be able to try it. Maybe gong shows aren't the best place, but an open mic...
Maybe he was just trying to help you out.
He probably knows, because he's like, most open mics... The lucky thing with open mics, well, it's a bad thing as well, that no people turn up audience-wise. So you have other comedians that are understanding that you're just trying jokes. Whilst if you turn up to a small gig that has like 5 to 10, and just because young students are the people who have more time to go to these kind of gigs, because someone told me the best audience is probably like a working men's club,
100%.
But it's not like they have the time to just be out going to open mics all the time. So you get these young woke students, and that is creating this like safer humour. And most people know now, when you performing in front of these 10 young woke, whatever you want to call it, if you just go there and just like, so rape, suicide, they're going to be like, whoa, why is he doing this? Like, they're not open to it. Whilst a working men's club, they're going to be open to that material. They know you're just joking around. The comedians that they had growing up were much worse.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what I was going to say, because when I was doing comedy, it was I mean,
Roy Chubby Brown.
Chubby Brown,
popular, wasn't he? Like,
they've
had all these people, and they were really famous. And then it's like, it's later. It's got, okay, you shouldn't say that stuff.
But then you had like Les Dennis, who was the same sort of thing.
Even Jim Davidson, like
Jim Davidson was really bad but Les Dawson, not Les Dennis, Les Dawson, man. He wasn't. He didn't swear or anything, and apparently, what's his name? Bernard Manning didn't swear when he was at home.
Really?
No, apparently so. Yeah.
I would say the darkest comedians, from what I've got so far, meeting other comedians, are the nicest people backstage, and the ones who are overly woke are usually the ones that are gossiping about other people.
Cunty,
I mean, look at Bill Cosby. He was the family-friendly comedian that never swore. Jimmy Savile was known for charity. Rolf Harris, children's entertainer.
They're hiding stuff. Because Bill Cosby's out of prison now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's genuinely, apparently he's been ringing.
Touring.
Yeah, he's been ringing around all the comedy clubs saying, I've got a fucking brand new set. Like, whether he should be allowed to do that, but I'll be honest, I'd fucking watch that tomorrow. I would watch his set. Yeah.
I want to see what he does, but he probably would just be back to like family friendly stuff because that's all he knows. But he should be like Louis C.K. style, just drugging all those people.
Yeah. Like, didn't Louis C.K.
What am I like?
Did Louis C.K. get done for something though?
He had a wank in a hotel room, didn't he?
I thought he'd been.
He wanked in multiple green rooms, but after that. So basically, what he did is. Using his position of power, that's the only bit where... Because he would ask people, can I masturbate in front of you? They would say yes, and he would do it. But they were put in a position where it's like, it's Louis C.K.
Yeah.
So it was like... And he's talked about it, that it was wrong for him to ask because they don't want to upset him. But yeah, it's not like Bill Cosby where he's just doing something in front of people. He's asked, but it's still fucked up what he was doing because he was using his position of power, but... It's not quite like Bill Cosby just drugging random people and raping them. That's just
mad world.
Louis C.K. is back touring, but a lot of clubs and the TV shows
his latest
been
tour
cancelled. There, he has to release it all on his own website and stuff just from that incident.
His latest tour's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and he talks about it.
And
as
he talks about it, and it is fucking phenomenally good.
He's like, a lot of people have kinks, and he was like, I really wish not everyone knew, because everyone knows his kink. It's public masturbation. That's what it is, and that's what he was doing, and that's what he was getting off on. But you know,
each to their own.
I mean, I don't know how he didn't think it would ever come out when he's with other comedians that are likely at some point to make it, and he's asking him if he can masturbate. That he doesn't find that a little bit weird.
Imagine that your next 10-minute set is going to be fucking phenomenal, isn't it? Because you're literally going to sit there and go,
yeah, but
I had a gig with Louis C.K. last week.
But but if you had come out and said, oh, it was with Louis C.K. and did that, I'd go, fuck off, I didn't do that. And I suppose I don't know. That's how it works, isn't it? Basically, that he puts that pressure on, and you might think, well, if I do say something, I'm never going to work again because he'll see to it. Because he knows everyone, I suppose. So that's
difficult one, isn't it?
I did a gig in a swingers club recently in Birkenhead, which is like not the place where you
that was it.
That's not where you want a swingers club to be.
No.
I got completely naked.
I'm guessing you're
for my set.
You got completely naked.
Completely naked. So one of the other comedians, Key Carson, was high on mushrooms, but he wasn't performing that night. I got him on stage to undress me. I told one-liners as I got completely bollock naked, and then I did like a trick that is like a Steve-O from Jackass trick where you swing your knob about, catch it between your legs, make it like a mangina, and then I like turned around and showed like a little fucking rabbit's tail or whatever. But like that was a night where it was like, so the person, it was the Mild High Talent, and I finished like third that night, but I was the only comedian that got naked. But one of the swingers, she played the harmonica with a vagina. So there was there was loads of crazy stuff going on. Luckily, I didn't have to follow that, but one of my mates followed that, and he does poetry, like comedy. So it was like, okay, well, playing the harmonica with a vagina. She only got 1 2
Can you imagine if you'd done a blues song with her?
Yeah,
she only got 1 2 out though. To be fair, it's not that easy to like get to queef.
I'd definitely nick that harmonica.
it was hilarious though. She was upside down, and no joke. They put a straw in her and trying to get air in it. It was fucking hilarious. And then I was like, I need to do something big here. And that's why I was just like, I'm gonna get fucking naked as a comedian and just tell jokes and try and give it my best run for winning, but didn't win.
Yeah, that's.
But I'm waiting for that. That footage exists now, so if I ever do make it, that's going to come out somewhere. Me swinging my dick about in front of like 100 people.
Be glad you can swing it, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Glad you can swing it.
I got good feedback at least on my penis. Everyone was like, "It's a nice penis," so I'm happy with that.
That's all you want, really, isn't it? If someone says you have a nice,
I didn't know. I was worried beforehand. I was like, "Fuck, this is like," especially when you're nervous.
Did you
I gave it
up a bit. You'd have had to.
Did you give it a little slap?
I gave it a fluff on stage because I was like getting changed, and I like turned around, fluffed it, and then did my swinging because you know when you get nervous. It's like walking out of like the sea. It shrinks. So I was like, I'm so nervous that it might be like inside me right now. So let me just shake it about a bit. So I shook it about and then did the trick. And, so maybe it was a bit of a.
So you did practice in front of the mirror then?
Yeah. I practiced it a few times. The funny thing was, every time I practiced it, I I kept failing catching it. So I would go like that, close my legs. I would catch my balls, but my cock would still be in the front. But I was just like, that's hilarious if it fails, and I have to do it a few times.
That's probably better.
Exactly, but on the night, I just nailed it first time. So I was like, oh well.
There you go, mate.
And only come third, you'd be wounded.
I know, yeah. And afterwards now, because I was the only comedian that did that, I've been going to like hot water and stuff. Loads of people, they weren't even there, just like, heard you got your cock out on stage. I'm just like, for fuck's sake.
Yes, I fucking did.
Yeah, and loads of people have seen it because, as I said, the footage was posted, but luckily only on Patreon. So.
Oh, is it on the?
And it's blurred out.
Oh, is it?
But you can see like it swinging behind the blur, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna join that Patreon just to see that footage.
That does sound wrong, mate.
If you want to see my cock, mild high Patreon swingers episode.
I've got a theory on this. I would look at anybody in the world naked.
Would you?
Yeah. Although, don't get me wrong, not like my nan and my mum, but like any other, but just out of curiosity. Do you not think?
Right.
What's that program?
I'll do it.
Tell me where they did the dating.
Oh fuck! With the box and it goes up and then they've got the cock and balls.
Oh.
So, what was that called?
Naked Attraction.
Naked Attraction.
We should do that on the page.
A lot of people have said to me since that, being like, you should apply to it. I was like, no one fucking watches it anymore.
No.
You'd just be naked on TV for literally no viewers, because barely anyone even watches those TV shows. Everyone's like Netflix, YouTube, like podcasts and stuff. That no one's like, let's tune into like whatever it's on ITV. I don't know what it's on ITV4, BBC. Yeah.
I don't know.
That show is actually my granddad's favourite show, which is so embarrassing. And he didn't give a fuck that I would go around there and he'd just be like, have you seen this? And put it on. Yeah. And then his like favourite episodes are obviously like the lesbian episodes. Yeah. As most granddads are. He's very homophobic, but he's like selective homophobic. If it's gay guys, he's like, what the fuck's this? It's all cocks. And then as soon as it's lesbians, I watched him being a bit nervous, and then like the girl will be like, she's got nice tits, and he's like, how does she know that? She thinks just like me. So this is the best episode. I don't have to see any dicks. Just talk about tits and Fanny the whole time.
That's fucking phenomenal. That's amazing. That is amazing. I love that.
So it's just me and your granddad.
But would you not just want to, like, when you're just walking down the street, you not just think, oh no, they look like naked?
No.
I've never thought that. No. Unless they're a girl that I like find attractive, then maybe.
They say that if you're in an interview and you're nervous, that's what you should do. Imagine them naked.
They say that for performing on stage. I have never thought looking down at an audience and imagining everyone. Like, surely that would be the opposite. I don't know why they say that.
Yeah, sometimes you shouldn't do it, like if you're a teacher. You shouldn't do it then, should you?
I did the opposite in the Swingers Club. I was supposed to imagine everyone else naked, but it was just me. I was like, you know when everyone says the worst nightmare? You go to school and like all of a sudden you're naked. You're like, I forgot to put on trousers.
It's like you'd watch Bert Kreischer and gone.
Much more worse than that.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? That's got to be...
I'll tell you what though, because that was the most nervous I've ever been for a gig. But Swingers Club are so supportive. Everyone there, because I was like, what if they just think that I'm some like fuckboy and they think I'm a bit of a cunt, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get naked. And I was just worrying that they were going to get the wrong opinion of me. But I was really nervous about doing it, but I was like, I want to join in with like everyone else being naked. So I like sold it to them, and like everyone, I was like, should I do it? And then everyone was like cheering me on, and it went well. But like, I was dead nervous. And then afterwards, I was like, this is going to make it easy for future gigs. But then it hasn't, because bombing is still way worse than getting naked on stage. Being fully clothed to
that's
no
what you need to do now. When you're bombing now on stage, just go,
just get my cock out.
I'll do, got this.
The amount of people that have said that to me now, like where we're just doing a normal gig and they go, why don't you just go up there and get naked?
A normal gig? I think you wouldn't be able to do it. It'd be like
you couldn't start Beat the Frog by getting your dick out.
There's an Edinburgh show which is naked every show, and there's a show, I don't know if that's at Leicester Comedy Festival or Edinburgh, where the whole audience is naked, so everyone's naked. And everyone who performs signs, and I guess everyone that goes in signs that you're comfortable being naked. And you perform naked and everyone in the audience is naked, and supposedly it's a really good atmosphere because it frees everyone up.
Would I do it naked?
Would you do that gig?
I think
probably
reaction-wise, you would find it would be the best, because straight away, as soon as you go on there, you can just be like, address the situation that everyone's naked, and all of a sudden people are going to be laughing. Just be like, look at the tits next to you, and you'll just get laughed straight away.
How much better would it be? Somebody laughing, but it's like jiggling the tits. Male or
like
female.
Yours?
Yeah, exactly that. I went to a thingy once.
I'm probably going to keep my clothes on, if I'm honest.
I would probably do it. I would do one of those naked. Now that I've done the Swingers one, I would do the fully naked act and audience, because it's fair. Everyone's naked, and I probably wouldn't do my actual set. I would just
doing it at the baths, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You don't want to do it at the baths, mate.
But it's the same.
Yeah, you don't want to.
But not obviously. Yeah. Well, not going.
I like to see the type of people that do like would, because guys can get a bit insecure. Say you're a guy that has like a small penis or a micro penis. Would you still like? Would it be empowering to do it? I don't know. I'm guessing it still would be. But I'd be interested to see. I
can tell you for right now.
I don't know. I think I think it's a cool thing because you can't. I think you face fear, haven't you? Basically,
I think blokes are way too fucking. They think about it way too much. I grew up playing rugby, so I've seen more penises than vaginas in my life, and they're all different fucking shape, size, whatever. Like you don't give. When you grow up playing rugby and everyone's naked in front, you stop giving a shit.
Yeah.
Whether you've got a big dick, small dick, it doesn't fucking matter. You've got what you've got. Just
there was a This Morning episode. I bet Schofield was loving it, but it was like it was guys going on the show that basically the whole segment was we have micro penises and we're not afraid to talk about it, and it was just like and it was Holly and Phil basically saying like, well, now you're advertising yourselves nationally, like, how do you feel about this, blah, blah, and they were like, fine talking, it was like, there's nothing we can do, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, it is what it is.
I don't know, though.
So it's like, it doesn't matter.
The only person is the people that you're intimate with that need to know, doesn't it? Because there's a stigma associated with it, isn't there? Otherwise, why would women pay to have breast enlargement and stuff? Do you know what I mean? So if you have got a tiny...
I really don't like fake boobs.
No, well...
Yeah, I've only dealt with one pair and I didn't like it either. So.
It's not my cup of tea.
What I'm saying is, so if does the world need to know? To me,
I'm not saying the world.
No, I don't
if you're
think
going to
so.
go on with Willa Billy and Touchy Wutchy, whatever.
If it was on with Holla Willoughby, it'd be bigger than it was before.
It's like, it's actually 2 inches right now because I'm sitting next to you.
But what I'm saying is, you only really need to share it with people that you're intimate with, don't you?
Yeah, they were just trying to spread the message, I guess, for those that were out there that aren't comfortable with it. That it's not the end of the world. No. We're coming out. We're basically going to be the spokespeople for you and say,
just learn how to.
We exist. There's going to be different sizes from the smallest to the biggest. There's nothing you can do about it. But if there was a surgery that men could get that would work like women can boobs. A lot of men probably would get it, let's just face it. But there would be men with fucking 7-inch penises would be like, I reckon I can do better with a 9 or 10 because that's just how men are.
Yeah.
They're never pleased with it.
I've seen that guy, he's in Germany actually, that injects saline into it. And it's massive.
What?
Like, you know, saline water?
Yeah.
And it's like a marrow. He walks around in his tracky bottoms and it's like...
Does he have to keep doing it or like releasing the saline?
Yeah.
Like,
but that's never going in anybody, is it?
Not that
that size. Do you know what I mean? It's never. I bet a clown could make a really good animal out of it.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to anyway. If girls wanted to, they like again a thing that happened at the Swinger show. There was a girl that like her talent was she'd been fisted by 3 men at the same time, so she's able to take a lot of punishment down there. So her talent was sitting on the world's largest dildo, and I'm not even joking, the circumference of it was larger than a baby's head.
No,
so she was sitting on something that is worse than giving birth. She lubed it up for like a good few minutes to make sure it didn't destroy her. But she sat on it like it was nothing. She got halfway down it, and I don't know if I can... It was like that long and like that wide. Jesus. And she got halfway down it, and I was like, Jesus
Christ. Where did she come?
Second.
Oh.
So I got beat,
right there on stage.
So I got beat by her. Beat by her. I thought she should have won just because that is like going through.
How would you have that on your CV? And have you got any notable facts? Well,
she said as well that it was something she found out. I don't know if I'm just like giving away people's personal information, but it is on, as I said, on the Patreon to see. Birkenhead Swingers Club. But like she said, she found out recently that she didn't know that. She had that ability until she had a boyfriend, because this was like her lead up to doing the, I guess, talent, was that her boyfriend was like, have you ever tried fisting? Put one fist in, and he was like, all of a sudden he was like, I could put both fists in. And then at the Swingers Club, her thing was like, she had most male fists, which was 3 at a time, and female, she had 4 female fists in her at one time.
Wow.
That was her like talent. I was thinking, like, should I swing my dick or should I see how many I can take up my arsehole? Yeah. One fist, that would be pretty impressive.
Go and get me a traffic cop. Quick.
I know, because like, as they were going along, I was like, I don't think my dick swinging's going to compete here.
No.
Who won it then? Can you tell me?
I said, the girl that played the harmonica, just because it was hilarious, because she was upside down, people were trying to blow air into her, and she was pushing, and just nothing was coming out for like 5 minutes. So she's just upside down, completely naked. Like, you can just see her, like, fanny right there. It's not, like, hidden or anything. People are blowing air in with the straw. It was fucking crazy. And she was just chatting, like, I got a few toots out early. Like, so it's funny. And then in the end, everyone's like, shh, and it just went... That was it. 1, 2. The crowd went wild. Everyone like applauded. And I was like, for fuck's sake, I've got no chance here. But you know, I did like that. I finished the highest as a guy, which was always going to be difficult. Yeah, I was on the podium.
That's good going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should we do the bucket?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like we need a theme tune for the bucket.
I'll do one. I'll sing one.
You'll sing one?
Should you have that one? What was her name? Mrs. Bouquet. We could have that, couldn't we? Keeping up appearances.
Oh, yeah.
The bucket reminds me of the Swingers Club as well. I'm only joking. They all had lovely vaginas. Yeah. Not that I tried any. I didn't actually do any swinging. I just performed. Is this then... What age?
What the fuck is this, Joe?
I'll put it in when you weren't looking. I might have sold it.
Do you know what?
It wrong to do you a picture.
I knew exactly that you'd put this in because it says plastic sugary.
Yeah. That's why I drew you a picture. That's why I drew you a picture.
What? That looks like that girl's cunt who plays the harmonica. Plastic sugary.
Surgery.
Right.
I put an
What age is the age cut off for plastic?
Yeah.
So
when you're too old for plastic surgery,
sugary,
plastic sugary.
I don't think there's any age for plastic surgery.
I think crack on whatever age you are.
Yeah,
I would love
a 90-year-old with cracking pair of tits. Yeah. At that point, I think it is worthwhile.
Yeah, I think they should be allowed to get the tits done. 100%.
What about faces and that?
Any old celebrity though, they want to still be
I've never looked at an older bloke or a lady. And what's that guy that looks like? Have you seen? I can't remember his name. He's dead famous, dead rich, and he's just like.
Sometimes they look
like
weird,
cat, don't they?
Yeah, but when I think like how old Joan Rivers was, I always thought like she doesn't look that bad though, and like would she have looked significantly worse if she didn't have any work? Because you could tell that she had work, but she also looked.
That's what I mean.
Smooth.
Is there a point where you sort of should age gracefully, if you get what I mean, or does it?
It's different for men because we get better as we get older, don't we?
Yeah.
Women.
George Clooney's not getting anything done, but look at all the
Yeah.
female like Hollywood celebrities because they're worried about losing roles.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if it's just
I've got a few roles
Botox.
here.
Well, nowadays the girls with their lip fillers and getting everything done, it's like happening from like age 18 now.
Yeah, well, even younger.
Yeah, you can definitely be too young for it though.
Do you think?
Yeah.
But
I don't think
lip fillers are needed until like if you really because they're not going to stop them. But
I think if you're going to do lip fillers anyway,
in school you can't have it.
It's got to be tasteful, innit? Like these fucking girls walking around now, the lips look like they're about to explode. It looks painful.
A girl in my school got her tits done when we were still in school.
Shut up.
Yes, so
popular girl was she?
She was. Yeah, she was already a popular girl, and then she went to get it done in Thailand as well.
Hell. To be fair, that's a good place to go. That because they can make fucking dudes look like women.
She's like half Thai too, so she had family there. So she like went on a trip, and all of a sudden she came back. She didn't get massive tits. No. She went from like A to C, but she came back and was like showing everyone, and even going to the teachers like, "Oh, I touched like the fucking male teachers," but. That's just how it was.
Oh, mate,
that's how it was in my school. I know.
I'd have lost my job.
The teacher was just like, luckily
quickly.
he was like, "Oh, fucking get away from me! I'm not touching your tits. You're 17."
So if you see, I don't know, mate. I'm not too bothered about it, but I can see why.
If your missus came home and was like, "Joe, I'm gonna go and get my boobs done," would you be like, oh. If she wanted to, then yeah, that's fine because she wants exactly
to.
So.
But I wouldn't. I don't know. I just think. Can you be too old for plastic surgery? Not necessarily your boobs, because boobs are cool always, aren't they? I mean, we can agree.
I think it's the skin pullback that the older women, that women have.
I just think.
Would you not chuck in with the rest of your family for getting Anne's tits done? You know, she.
my nan's only got one tit as well because she lost one with cancer. So I think she could do with having like a fake tit, but it just costs a lot of money.
Do you know there's an Amazonian tribe that they reckon that they were
chopping each other's tits?
Fierce archers, and the boobs got in the way, so they used to cut one off so they could fire the bone arrows back.
Wow.
No anaesthesia there either.
That's just literally.
Bro, they probably just get to sleep. And you just like wake up. It's like, where's my tit gun?
I thought you meant they was going to punch it off.
No. Punch him to sleep. Wake up. And it's like you might not have a tit, but try it. And they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I bet you can. Yeah, you're going to
fire a few arrows now.
Yeah.
You'll be hoping to, like, if you're a girl, then you'd be hoping to have AIDS. You're like, look, I don't need it. I'm itty bitty titty committee. Like,
I'm okay
leave
with
me alone.
These are fine. Thank you.
So we were saying then, no age.
No age. Crack on.
Okay.
Whatever makes you.
Do you not
happy.
think it's just making people money though, and giving people
of course
like?
It's making people. Everything's making people money.
No, but it's addictive to people, isn't it? And is it like?
It's not, but dependent on the age, it's not going to be addictive for
Would
long,
you
is
have,
it?
like them guys? Them guy. Have you seen that guy that's made himself into a demon and chop an alien? It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
chopped
and he's got metal in him everywhere.
Yeah, I just think
his eyes are completely black because he had like his eyeballs tattooed.
Yeah.
But can you imagine waking up in the morning and go, right, look at him and go,
that's mental health issues, and it's debate. A lot of people debate on when he walks in. Do you want to contribute to basically fucking this guy up? But that's what he wants because he's mentally not there. But
no, he's not.
You could say that about anything. Like a girl who's got like nice A tits, if she wants to get a C cup, you can't just be like, no, they're great. I'm not doing it. They're great how they are.
There is surgeons who are like that though, aren't there?
Yeah, there'll be some that be like, you don't
boring
need it.
ones.
But yeah.
I mean, still coming from the
The
consultation.
majority are going to be like, give me the money. You are getting a cracking pair of D's.
But that's. I don't know. Yeah, all right then. So you're not too old. So.
Nah, crack
right,
on. Whatever makes you happy, mate. Yeah. Whatever makes
Another
you
4 inches, please.
Well, what surgery would you have? If you was going to have one.
If you had to have one.
Yeah, if you had to have a cosmetic surgery, what would you go for?
I'd have a really big long finger like them. You know, them,
like E.T.?
Them lemurs where they can get like stuff out of.
Yeah.
They have a big long extended finger to
for the missus.
No, for him getting like if you walk past a tree, you can get in the tree and get grubs out.
Why would you want to get grubs out?
Just be fucking ace.
Right.
Party trick, wasn't it?
I've already had a surgery.
Oh,
yeah, I've had a hair transplant.
Have you?
No way.
Yeah. Can't tell because I got the hat on, but I had it done last September.
So
I wasn't bald, but I just like had a receding hairline. And
I've been thinking about it because mine went really thin at the front, and I always said if it starts going thin, I'm just shaving it off. I can't be.
Yeah, I shaved mine off for a while beforehand, but then everyone was like, "Why are you shaving your head? You're not bald." But like I was just styling it all the time. I was getting annoyed with it.
Yeah.
But then people didn't like the shaved head, so then I just started wearing caps, which I'm still doing now.
Yeah.
I had the hair transplant, but I have to go back to get it finished end of the year, so I'm still going to be like wearing hats. But hopefully by next year it's done. Would I recommend it? I don't think it matters that much because I had always had the opinion. So I waited. I started losing my hair when I was 18. And as I said, I don't look old, but I am 32. And I agreed that I would wait till I was at least 30. But that was during COVID. If I still had decent enough hair, that I would just get the hairline, the front of it fixed because I'm not going to go bald, basically. Whilst at 25, a lot of my friends that had receding hair at me, like 18, went completely bald. And they're not really good candidates for a hair transplant. And one of my closest school friends, is a hair transplant surgeon. Right. So like I chatted to him a lot about it and he was like, you're a good candidate, it's not going to be that bad for you. But then it was just like, do I want to go through with it? Do I care that much about it? And then I just decided to do it. I'm not really arsed either way.
If it's for yourself, it don't matter, does it? But I think if it's pressure for...
I do sometimes think, oh, what a little bitch, like why can't you just handle just having a receding hairline? But then other times I'm like, no, I'd rather have my hair look better.
I'm just super lazy, so I was quite happy that I went bald. I was like, fuck it, I couldn't give a shit. I'm not arsed. I shaved my head.
That's what I was waiting. I was like, if I go bald, I was like, I won't care. My granddad on my dad's side is completely bald. And I was like, if that happens to me, I'm not arsed. But I'm just annoyed with the receding hairline because I had hair and like I would always style it. And every time there's wind and stuff, it was just, I kept getting from 18 to like 30. Oh, it's going. And I was like, it's been going for like 12 years now. And I keep getting that. And I was like, it's not going though. It's just receded, so it has gone partially.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not going to all of a sudden be bald at like 40. It's still going to be receded then, just probably a little bit more receded.
Yeah. Mine's just thin at the front. Everywhere else it's still dead thick, but just at the front it's thin. It's anorexic, if to be honest.
Somebody's got to be on it.
Yeah. My penis. Like his t-shirt.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It won't fit me.
Will it not?
No.
Too tight.
Yeah.
I meant the other way, actually. It come out wrong. That Freudian slip.
Right. At what age are you too old to wear swimming trunks?
What
like
do you mean?
Speedos.
Oh, never.
Yes.
Same.
Yes.
No.
You are.
No,
you're
like
allowed to wear them when you're a kid.
My missus is German. You can go swimming in Germany in Speedos, no matter what. And in fact, when we go away on holiday, I'll wear them just to annoy everyone.
No, I don't. You know, before when I said I'd look at anyone naked, I wouldn't want to see you in Speedos.
Oh, I'm good, mate.
No,
just have to hold my tummy up a bit now.
Just all the fucking red pubes everywhere, just flying about just in the wind.
That was used to be like when we had to wear a mask. It was like a 1970s underwear.
Yeah, it wasn't it? Yeah, anyone with a beard.
I wore like the proper Speedos on like a lad's holiday, which was like a bit of a joke. But then I actually have some like trunk shorts. I have trunk shorts. They're not Speedos though, but they're like tight trunk shorts. And I don't mind wearing them on holiday, but in general, I just wear. I just think
once you're out of primary school,
I think on holiday you can do it when you've got Europeans there. But if you go to the local baths in them, I think
that's the thing. My gym has like a pool and stuff, and I never wear like my tight shorts there. But if I'm on holiday and I go to the beach, I'm like, you know what? I'm embracing it, and I will just wear them because
I have to go at night, which looks a bit weird. Ginger burn otherwise. If you're walking down the beach at night with Speedos, like, how ladies.
I lived in Australia for 1 year, and I lived by the beach, and like I was in my tight trunks all the time.
Where do you live in Oz?
Mostly in Melbourne, but then I did like 1 month in Perth, which was like nice weather all the time, nice beaches.
I lived in Byron Bay, which is near Brisbane.
Yeah.
When I was younger. Yeah, I liked it.
I'm going to lose this one, Anna. Because you two are avid.
I think you're allowed to wear them, yeah.
No, I get the bad reaction every time, and like I like to post a photo, and like my mates are always like, "Oh, you fucking knobhead wearing that," and I know I'm getting that reaction.
As well when
but I do it to get the reaction because it's like, as I said, everything is extreme with me, so it's like I want to do it to piss people off, probably more than like me enjoying wearing them.
Yeah.
I think.
I think you'll go for space.
I'd look naked.
But in general,
if I had Speedos on. You wouldn't see them, would you?
I don't even think kids should wear them. I don't think they should exist.
I do.
In my opinion, apart from professionals. I think only professional swimmers should wear them.
Literally all the time.
I think everyone should just wear them daily, even in winter. Yeah.
I don't mind a dive in and that and a swim round. So,
No,
I think professional swimmers because it aids their swimming.
I think I got a little bit of PTSD. I went on holiday like when I was about 15, 16, and my uncle had a pair of Speedos on, and he's got the biggest cock I've ever seen in my entire life, and it was like wrapped round the Speedo to where his hip is, and I was like, oh mate, I can't wear fucking Speedos around this cunt. Like,
I've got in mine, right, I've got a little pocket so you can go buy an ice cream, right? So when you're there and you start going like, everyone goes, no! don't, no.
9.
I put little bags of sweets in mine, so
just in case.
Just to really up the nonce in, you know. Got to play the role.
Called pedos instead of Speedos.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think you can.
Yeah.
As long as you're not white. White trunks are bad.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. They're just gonna go see-through, aren't they?
Yeah.
See-through and probably brown a bit at the back. You get a little itch or something. Yeah. It's not worth it.
It looks like a bush.
I know I'm not gonna win this one, so I'll just let you have it. I think
But I would pay to watch a Patreon special if you did it at speed.
All right, you can read this one actually. This was yours, and I need you to explain it a little bit.
Somebody rang in with this one. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll do that bit at the end.
Taking shortcuts.
Okay, explain what you mean by taking shortcuts.
When you're a kid, right, if you want to go to the pub, you jump over fences.
As a kid, you want to go to the pub?
Yeah, when you were younger.
Right, okay.
So
12.
Ah, right, so you mean like taking a shortcut as in not the way?
Yeah, so you jump over edges or you go through gardens and, stuff like that, or, I don't know, or You just take shortcuts where you shouldn't really go, but you used to go to get there quicker.
I can't jump over a fence, not because of my age, mainly because of my knees and my weight.
Right.
So
you go through it though.
Yeah, I could do.
Just keep walking.
Yeah, just plough it fucking down.
Yeah.
Would you drive like when you see a little road and 100%. It's got the one way sign, but you can just edge it and then get through 100%. That way? I think a lot of people would do that.
100%.
Yeah. I'm more likely to do that than I'm not going to go in anyone's garden anymore. But when I was a kid. You would cut through
definitely
people's
cut
gardens.
over people's gardens.
I think you have to lose the garden stuff when you're a teenager. Yeah, because if you're an adult walking through someone's garden.
But that's what I'm saying. You might if you know like where we are, we can nip through next door's garden. It saves you walking round. So sometimes I'll do that when I come back from the pub.
But you know them, don't you?
No, he hates me because he always walks through his garden. But
he's fucking shitting on my lawn again.
So I think I don't know. Yeah, I think taking shortcuts, doing that. I think if you can get sneaky ways, cut through.
No, I think I'm with you. Like after a teenager, just drive.
Driving shortcuts, yes.
Yeah. I remember
walking shortcuts, nah.
Head shopping with my mate when we were kids, and he come over his fence and went boom, and there was a pond on the other side, but proper deep. I can't swim. He was all fucking laughing and the guy come out, we can give him hiding, we were laughing.
Me and my mates had we'd been to a pub and decided that in this dead quiet little pub in St Helens we thought ecstasy would be the way forward, so we all had a couple of pills, and then we was like, right, we'll go back to my mate's house now, put some tunes on and stuff, and we thought, fuck it, we'll go
cough sweets?
We'll go hedge hopping on ecstasy on the way home, and instead of hopping we just went through every fucking fence, and it was the funniest thing that's ever happened to me.
I think
they're never shortcuts though, hedge hopping. You're just jumping on people's hedges and running off.
No, but if it's quicker to go through the gardens and walk round, it is, isn't it? That's what I mean.
Sometimes there's fields where it's like there's a horse in there, and you see like a little step either side. I'll cut through them even now because it's like they're public places to walk. It's just people's like property. I probably wouldn't walk through just because.
Yeah, we used to cut across a farmer's field in St Helens to get where we was going, and he would always fucking come out fuming. They have the little rice guns and they shoot at you with the rice guns.
Salt.
Yeah. We used to always fucking do that.
Yeah, so I think.
But again, teenager.
But I think but older alcohol's involved, then it's funny again, isn't it? Because it's like recapturing your youth.
I don't think I've got.
We used to have one called the Grand National. It was about 18 gardens where you had to go over them all.
Yeah, I think everyone had that on their estate. They had a Grand National hedge hopping thing.
Yeah, if you're drunk, it's different. Like, I've woke up at the bottom of random people's gardens, just like blackout drunk, 7 a.m. But I've not planned to be there, so. Yeah. But I think just like sober walking around, then no.
Used to be a nightclub over the back here, and then there's a golf link that backs onto that, and then there was allotments at the side of it, and everyone used to wake up in the allotments. You just start walking over the golf link, say, "Oh fuck it, I'm going there." Like, you wake up, some guy's there with making his brew in his allotment shed. You're asleep on the floor.
There was one with you, mate.
Yeah.
It's
alright.
Yeah, but I think teenager.
Yeah, teenager.
Okay. Well, I'll accept that. I think you're wrong.
Is that an episode, mate?
I think so. Have we got anything else? Comedy round?
Anything you want to plug, Danny? Anything you've got coming up?
I guess my socials. I'm Danny Royles on TikTok.
We'll put all your socials on the episode and stuff as well.
Yeah. I'm a 30-something-year-old loser making TikToks at the moment.
They're really good though.
Yeah, I do like making them. Yeah. And then I've started making TikToks with my friend in a wheelchair that I discussed. We're running that comedy night together, crippled with laughter. Not got a leg to stand on. Yeah. Those are all the kind of puns that we're going to be doing. My Instagram as well, DJ Royles. That's all I've got. Gigs wise, I don't really have anything to plug because I trying to stay just like underground and build my confidence rather than like I don't apply to many gigs. A lot of people who have less gigs than me, I see them doing like 10 spots everywhere, but I've decided I'm going to stick to open mics until I really think I'm ready and try and impress.
I think that's the right way to do it as well, mate.
You don't want to give a bad impression, be like 20, 30 gigs in, and then all of a sudden, because you've been doing well, 10 spots, and you're not really ready for it. So I don't know when I'll be ready, but it's not right now.
You'll just know yourself, mate.
Well, thanks a lot. We've been
thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been great.
If you are watching the episode, please hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel. It helps us keep doing this and keep doing episodes week on week. So yeah,
it doesn't really at the moment, though, does it? We'll do it anyway. Like and subscribe.
That's what it's like. That's what it's like.
Absolute fucking wanker.
It's the same with comedy. It's like, you need to keep doing it, but you just turn up to open mics with nobody there anyway. So it's like you still turn up here. Yeah.
We'll keep doing it.
Talking into the void.
That's it.
That's life.
Nice one.
Cheers,
cheers, mate.
Cheers, thank you.
Nice one.
Cheers.
Brilliant.